Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be going over violin markings and symbols. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with bowings. So right here, I'm starting on a downbeat, right? We're starting on beat 1. So usually for downbeats, I'll go ahead and use the down bow. And the down bow looks like this, right? This is the down bow symbol. If I were to start on a pickup note, or let's say I had 2/8 notes and they were slurred together. Watch. 2/8 notes slurred together. I would start this on an up bow, right? So it'd be going up, down, and then we'd end up here on a down bow on the down beat, right? On the first beat, we'd end up on the down bow, right? So I'd usually start up bow here on the pickup, end up on a down bow. Okay, let's say for example, I don't got this yet, right? No slurs, right? This is just the same excerpt from the harmony video, right? So we got down, and what a violinist would assume is that the next note's up, next note's down, up, so on, right? That's what's called as it comes, right? The bowings are as it comes. So right here we have a down, up. This means if we follow the same sequence as it comes, we'd end up here on an up bow. So let me just mark it just to kind of save our spot, right? We got an up bow right here. I would probably want to start this next phrase on a down bow. So right here we have the start of a new phrase. I'm starting it on a down bow, right? Let's say for example, I probably wouldn't do this, but let's say for example you wanted to start here on a down bow instead of an up. So let me show you what I would do in order to manipulate the phrase a bit. I would go here and I'd tie these together. So this would now make it down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So we'd end here on a down. Okay, so since we have two downs next to each other, this would make the violinist assume that they're going to do what's called a retake. So right here, once they play this, they're going to pick the bow up off of the string and they're going to play a down bow right here. So they're going to pick up, after doing this down, they're going to pick the string up and do another down. That's what's called a retake. And sometimes it is used, but it just kind of depends on what you're going for or the style, right? So if I did want to add slurs to this phrase, I would actually just do this to make it sound a little more musical, right? If I wanted to add slurs, I would do this. So we'd still end up here on an up. Let me just go ahead and mark it just to show you. So we'd still end up here on an up, which would smoothly transition back into this down, back into this down beat. So from here, as it comes, would be down, up, down, up, down. We'd end the entire phrase on a down, right? And we don't really have anything else after that for a couple measures. So I don't really mind ending on a down bow here. Okay, so next we have what's called pizzicato. And let me kind of show you how that sounds in a bit. But what pizzicato is instead of the violinist using the bow, they're going to go ahead and pluck the strings with their fingers, right? So they're plucking the notes. Let me show you how that sounds. Okay, so in order to get out of that, you just heard the whole phrase, and that the whole phrase was being plucked, right? So in order to get out of that, I would select this right here, and I would go to Arco. Then I would click Arco. So what Arco means is that we're going back, and after we pizzicato all this means right here we're going to come in with the bow, right? And since we know the bowing over here, and this is the same phrase, it would be assumed that I would do this the same way I did it over here. Okay? And then one more thing I want to show you guys, which you guys might find useful depending on how you want to use it is the tremolo. Right? Tremolo or tremolo right here. Right? So you might want to end a phrase with this to make it a little more dramatic, right? There's also a way to get out of tremolo. So let me show you an example right here. Let's say if we tremoloed this, right? Then you'd end here and you'd do normal, right? I probably wouldn't do this, but it's just to show you an example, right? So if I use, let me just go ahead and show you this, just to show you how it sounds, right? Right, so you heard our pizzicato, and then we went back in and used the bow, and then we tremoloed these, right? And then we went back to normal. No more tremolo, right? Usually I use tremolo to end phrases, only just to make it dramatic, and then I'll use a fermata, and then everyone would stop, vocals would come in, you know, things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all learned something. Thank you very much. If you have questions, go ahead and email me or write it down in the comment section, and if I can help you out, I'll go ahead and do so. Thank you very much.